Marking one-year conflict between Russia and Ukraine on February 24th, the conflict has damaged many sectors, especially agricultural sector for Ukraine. And I had an interview with Deputy Minister of Agrarian Policy and Food of Ukraine when I visited Ukraine to find out the impacts of the conflict on agricultural sector of the country. We're almost at 1 year after the Russia's invasion on February 24th, and considering Ukrainian position as one of the important grain supplier to the world, how much has the invasion make the agricultural infrastructure damaged, and also has it impacted the agriculture production for Ukraine?
For sure, we have a lot of damages in agriculture sector. First of all, we talk about our storage facilities and farms. We, together with World Bank, we made an estimation of this direct damages, and the total cost is about $8.3 billion. So about 10,000 storage facilities, farms were partially or fully damaged or destroyed.
Okay.
And moreover, on the agricultural sector, the impact of damages of infrastructure has very significant impact, because you know that Ukraine is an agrarian country, and we export a lot, so our export pace after 24th of February significantly lowered because of blockade of seaports and because of damages to infrastructure, not only railway infrastructure, but you know that we have constant attacks on our energy infrastructure. So this impact is enormous to the agriculture sector.
Okay. What about the agricultural production? Do you expect the agricultural production to improve this year? Let's say the grain and also corn and sunflower seed. How many million metric tons do you expect Ukrainian can produce and export, Mr. Deputy Minister?
For your understanding, in 2021, we harvested about 108 million tons of different types of grains. In 2022, this number was about 67. And unfortunately, our forecast for 2023 is not very positive, because we expect the shortage of production for about additional 20% in comparison with 2022. So our basic forecast is about 45 million tons of grains harvested this year. Reasons are obvious: constant attacks on infrastructure, as we mentioned before, low export pace, low export capabilities of our farmers and companies. Because of this low export, they earn less money for their cereals, for their grains. So very often they don't have opportunity even to cover primary cost of growing grains. These all constants, they impact on the shortage of production.
Okay. And also you mentioned about the blockade of seaport. The negotiations on the Black Sea grain deal were set to resume this week, Mr. Deputy Minister. This is so important for the Ukrainian grains that much needed for the world. What is your biggest concern on the negotiations?
What we can see beginning from October, November last year, we Joint Coordination Center inspected about 10 vessels per day, 6, 7, up to 10 vessels per day. But after November, there was direct sabotage from Russian side, from Russian inspectors. So they started to inspect only 2, 3 vessels per day. We have a queue in the Bosphorus for about 140 vessels. Our biggest concern is that Russians will sabotage the negotiation process on continuation of this grain corridor. But still, you know that from Ukrainian side there is suggestion to include Mykolaiv ports to this grain initiative and to expand this continuation not only for months, but to make it for at least 1 year, because it will give some certainty not only for our farmers, but for those countries who are in need of Ukrainian grain, and that those countries who feel the impact of this blockade on the food supplies, especially on food prices, because food prices increased up to 20% all over the world. So every country on the world feels this impact because of shortage of food supplies, shortage of supplies of fertilizers. So everyone in the world has to pay for this ridiculous Russian war.